now listening to Kendra After Dark.
Hey, welcome back to Kendra After Dark. Today I have a very special guest host with me. Her name is Olivia.
Hi. Thanks for having me.
And Olivia lives here in Tucson, but she recently self-published. Yeah?
Yes.
Self-published a book here called The Breakup Diaries, which is pretty good. I read through it. I like the writing in there.
Thank you.
And it definitely correlates with, like, experiences I've been through, so it's...
Yeah.
I was like, oh, that's spot on. So thank you so much for coming on the show.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Definitely. I have a question.
Yes.
If you could be a flavor of ice cream, what would you be?
Maple walnut.
Huh. Why would you be that?
Probably because it's my favorite. And also it's, like... has a little, like, variety to it.
Yeah.
You know? Also reminds me of home. I think that's a thing. I associate, like, different foods with home.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Where are you from originally?
New York. Upstate New York. So, lots of, like, maple syrup and apples and that sort of thing.
Yeah, that's fun. When did you move to Tucson?
It's been, like, 4 years now.
What made you move out here?
I have friends in Phoenix, and they said to me and my partner at the time, like, come out here, see if you like it, see if you want to move to California, because that was always our goal. Mm-hmm. And we got to Phoenix and hated it. But we found Tucson, and it was just kind of like the universe brought us here. Everything just kind of fell into place immediately, and it just felt like home. So, yeah.
Yeah, that's exciting. I've lived here my whole life, so I'm like, it's
boring.
Yeah. No, I'm just kidding. I feel like there's a lot more now that I'm older and, like, able to look at the different opportunities and things around town that you can do. Mm-hmm. I realize how much is actually out there, but forever I was like, Tucson is just boring.
Yeah, well, if you grow up in a place, it's like, you know.
It makes it unappealing a little bit.
Totally.
You're super used to it, and you're like, eh. What do you think you would say is your most embarrassing moment ever?
In my whole life?
Yeah.
So in 9th grade, I went through this, like, mean girl stage, so I wore, like, heels and makeup and like, matching purses every day, so I'd always wear heels, and no one else really was wearing heels. So I stuck out because I was wearing heels, and my friend, quotes... like, tripped me because she thought, oh, that'd be so funny, and I fell, like, on my face in front of everyone in high school as, like, a 14-year-old. That's, like, the worst thing that could ever happen to you.
Yeah.
So that was pretty embarrassing.
That is pretty embarrassing. Yeah. You still wear heels? Well, you didn't wear
heels
today?
No, I don't. I kind of, like, boycotted them after high school. Yeah.
You're like, I'm not falling in front of anybody.
Never again.
Ever. How about an animal? If you were any type of animal, what would you be?
I would say, like, a lion, just because, like, I'm a Leo, and I really love lions.
I like that tattoo
They're
a
so
lot.
Fierce. And also a chihuahua, because they're just, like, so sweet and, like, love to be cuddled. Or at least mine do.
Yeah. And well, some of them are, like...
Yeah, I wouldn't be a vicious chihuahua. Like a nice one.
Yeah, I'm going to be the nice version. How funny. Well, I was not sure if you smoked or not. I didn't want to fill the room with a bunch of smoke or anything during the show, but what I was going to go ahead and test today is my vape pen here, which I got from Venom Extracts over at the Prime Leaf. I picked it up actually on 420. They had really good deals over there, and I got this. It's an indica. It's called the strain is Slurrican, and that is a cross of Do-si-dos and Purple Punch. So it's a heavy indica. Pretty cool because these vape pens are pretty legit. You can take them anywhere. Not too many people look at you like, what are you doing?
Sure.
So, you know, you're not going to smell like weed and stuff either, but you still get the effects of smoking weed. I like these. I think they're good for, honestly, like me, if I'm somewhere for a long time, I would rather have this with me than, like, have to carry weed and smell like bud.
Yeah.
Like, you know, so it tastes pretty good. It's definitely like an earthy flavor when you hit it. But I can tell it's heavy. Like, as soon as you hit it, you can kind of start feeling the effects. So we'll see how it goes, you know, throughout the show, and kind of give a little more information at the end here. But we ordered your book from Amazon.
Yes.
Where else can you get your book?
So it's actually at Virtue's Hair Studio, which is here in Tucson.
On Instagram. And probably on your Instagram.
Yes, definitely. And I just sent it into Antigone on 4th to be considered for for their program. So
cool. So a few different
Antigone
places.
or Virtues.
Amazon is good.
And Amazon, yeah.
Cool. Well, so first of all, when did you begin to write your book?
So I had my breakup at the end of August, and I think
last year.
Of last year, 2018. Yeah.
Okay.
And I went to see Olivia Gatwood, who's a really cool spoken word artist. And I went by myself, and I was just, like, amazed. And then I think that night even, that was, like, mid-September, I just wrote, like, 5 poems. And they just came out of me. And so that's kind of how it started.
You just kept going.
Yeah.
So what was the process of getting the book published from August till now? Well, it released in when?
The release date was February 14th.
Yeah.
Valentine's Day.
Good day. Good day to come.
Yeah. So I wrote basically from September to November. That was it. And then I kind of put it on the shelf for a couple months and let it sit. And then a couple weeks before Valentine's Day, I said to myself, that was my goal, is to publish it on Valentine's Day. So last minute person that I am, I got it together, made it a PDF, looked at different fonts, made some illustrations to go in there, proofread it 18 times, sent it to my cousin, sent it to my brother, all these things. And then I just submitted it to the Kindle Direct Publishing platform.
Oh, nice.
And it was live, and you could buy it. And my first version of my book had typos still, even though I had looked at it. So I had to kind of redo that and re-upload. But yeah.
How did it do well, the first version?
Yeah, I mean, I had a lot of people buy it right away, and then it was kind of like radio silence for a while. And then I was really busy in March and the beginning of April, so I couldn't really promote it. And so I just started promoting it. So it kind of has a resurgence of interest.
Yeah, it's so quick, though. And that's the thing, is I think the more and more people see it, it's a quick read.
Yeah.
So that's really cool. But there's a lot of deep, you could tell, just reading through this, I kind of got an idea of your whole relationship.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it gives you a pretty good glimpse in there without giving too much information.
Yeah.
Which is nice. Has your ex read the book?
Yeah.
Yeah, did she contact you?
She's really proud of me.
That's good.
Her and I are on speaking terms, and we see each other sometimes still. So we're in this gray area. But I'm lucky to have as much as everyone has their bad qualities. Yeah. One of her good qualities is she's super supportive. So she was just so proud that I created something and published it and finished it. Yeah. Because throughout our relationship, I created so many things and didn't finish them. So she was like, "Go you." It's
weird when you go through something. It kind of gives you the extra push of, okay, I need to do this.
Yeah.
Right? Because, I mean, even this podcast was kind of created from a push that I needed. You know what I mean? In order to get my own thing going and be able to take my thoughts and actually put them in place. So that's cool. It's understandable. I have children with ex. Also, it's obviously something that you have to be well, you're going to be a part of my life. Yeah. And kind of take it as it is. So, but yeah, that was one of the first things I thought, because kind of reading through that, you can tell how hurt you were. Yes. In the moment. You definitely really loved that girl.
Yeah. I still do, to be honest.
And you said that's the first girl that you dated, right? So how was that?
The dating,
or even just going from being with men to you have the one part in there that talks about the first night together. Yeah. Was that?
So I think that I dated men for a long time, and it was fine, but I think the place that I was at, I just kept attracting these men that weren't good enough, quote unquote, for me. There was something within them that I didn't completely feel attracted to, but then I kept hanging out with them and I would get attached, and that was kind of a toxic cycle of being with people that I wasn't completely feeling, but so I really wanted a partner. I thought it was going to be a boyfriend, and I just started working on myself. I did a life coaching group, started meditating, started dancing more. This was back in New York City, and just kind of put that intention, I'm going to meet a like-minded, equal partner and experience someone that I really love. And I just kept saying that and doing the things that I knew would attract that into my life, which was being a better version of myself. Right. And I met her, and I wasn't expecting it to be her. And so I think I came to terms with a part of my sexuality that I've kind of always known, but it was the first time I was really able to explore that.
Yeah. Probably especially, too, because you were at that point where you were working on yourself.
Yeah.
And because I'm still working on myself, but you realize a lot of your flaws when you really start taking a look at yourself, and it's like such a breath of fresh air, kind of, because it gives you that reality check that you need of like, okay, wow, I've been fucking up, or, you know, depending on the situation, of course, but like for me personally, and I've talked about it before, I literally would do any and everything for someone else and nothing for me.
Yeah.
Like years without anything for me.
Yeah.
And then just sitting there constantly working and trying to do and make sure everybody else was good.
Yeah.
And like not at all being like, okay, well, what are you doing?
Right. Yeah.
You know,
and you have to focus on yourself first in order to keep that up. To keep giving to others.
Yeah. And that's something I'm learning. I struggle with, but I'm like, so gotta approach that differently. Let's be a little different there.
Awareness is the first step.
So obviously the breakup prompted you to write it. Was it, and then you said you went and saw that show. What made you put it in this form, though, as opposed to like an actual...
So I've written poems before. I've written spoken word before. But I used to write a lot of songs. Before I met her, I would write songs. When we met, we would write songs together, and we would play and sing together. So I was just so like heartbroken that I just didn't want to write a song. I didn't want to pick up my guitar, but I needed to get it out. So I just started writing words or like lyrics or poems, and that's kind of how it came out.
That's pretty cool. I mean, that's a good way to overcome like a block, an obstacle where you're like, well, I don't want to do that because I did that with you, but there's a way I will still do, you know, essentially that. So the Tappening.
Yes.
You post a lot about that. So how did you get involved with that?
So I started teaching dance classes at Floor Polish a few years ago. They're a dance studio on 4th Ave. And I really liked it. And also it was difficult to be a teacher where there was new people coming in every week, and you never knew who was going to show up, and there was people that had never danced before, and then some people who had been coming. So I wanted to create a way that I could have the same people and like cultivate a team and like see them develop and grow. So I created the tap team. It was called the Badass Tap Team at first because the class was called Badass Tap Class. And after like the first time, we were like, that's kind of a dumb name. And we just came up, one of the members came up with the name The Tappening. So
that's pretty cool.
It's been a year, and I've made some really cool friends through that. So,
that's nice. Yeah, I saw you post about it and then went and looked at the site, and like it looks like a lot of fun.
Yeah.
So that's pretty cool. How often do you guys do?
It's like every other month we kind of have a show. But our last big show was at the Rialto, which was like really awesome.
Oh, so, nice.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah, definitely something I would be interested to go and see too, because I was like, I've never really gone, and it looks like you guys, honestly, you make it fun.
We have a great time.
Yeah. So and you can tell just by looking at the pictures and stuff. So that's always nice to see.
Yeah.
What is like the number one thing you would tell somebody who's wanting to self-publish a book?
So I would say it is possible, and it's so possible. And I think that for so long I wanted to publish a book, and it was because of what happened and me writing, and also seeing my brother self-publish, that I was like, oh wow, like he can do it, I can do it.
That's awesome.
So that was like that push of like, okay, it's not that hard. You just have to, write and then edit it, and you just literally upload a PDF of your work to the platform on Amazon.
Oh yeah,
so that's the easy part. Like the writing and creating is like the harder part.
I guess I didn't. So we're so lucky to have that ability. I didn't realize it was that easy, because it's like, wow, that's pretty cool. But I mean, obviously it takes your time to write and put your all into the book. And like you said, you had some typos and stuff. I do that with blogs too. Like I write blogs and I send it to someone else to edit before I put them online. Yeah. And like Sarah will be like, hey, this word is wrong. And I'm like, damn. Okay, well that already went through another person. Right. But it's good that we have...
Sometimes you need multiple eyes to look at it.
Exactly. And a lot of times too, I notice like working with mobile devices, unfortunately, it autocorrects a lot of shit, and you're like, damn it, I didn't even look at that. Like, but I think it's awesome. You even have like a writing to your dad in there. Has he always been a big part of your life?
Yeah, both of my parents are amazing, but they're just very different. So my dad came out to visit in October, and he is more like the kind of love of like, come on, you're gonna get through this. Like, you need to stop crying. Like, you need to get over her. She hurt you. Like, fuck that. Move forward. All this stuff.
Yeah.
Which is helpful to have that piece. And then I have my mom who's like very nurturing and like loving. My dad shows his love through like acts of service. So he came and just like made me so much food and like planted plants, like painted my front door and like fixed things, and like that's how he shows his
He's
love.
like, I'm gonna take care of you.
Yeah.
Everything you won't have to do while I'm doing it, which is pretty cool. I definitely like, that type of, it's funny because I was recently like, I put it even online and being like, which one of the 4 love languages do you do? Because people don't realize how much that is really like, you have to understand the type of love language that you want, and you have to understand the type of love language that people are like sending your way.
Yeah.
Also. So
what's
it's like,
yours?
I don't know, honestly, acts of service.
Yeah.
But because of my last breakup, it has made me not want to do it at all, which has made it it's a battle that I have with myself.
Sure.
Because number one, I'm like, oh, this is what I want to do. But I realized before that I do that too much. I definitely give too much and do too much for other people. And so now I'm trying to find a balance, which makes it like, it's totally off for me.
Yeah.
But I realized in like the end of my situation, like, what do I have? And not to be selfish in that way, but what benefits did I get? What growth did I have through this? And like, I feel like I help a lot of other people grow.
Yeah.
A lot of times I'm like, okay, well, when is it my turn?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I need to check in back, to see exactly what that may be. Do you think that sharing your story was a major process with you being able to move forward?
I think that writing it was how I dealt with it and how I moved forward. The reason why I chose to share it was to help other people. So I think I had already processed and started my healing by writing it, and in publishing it was to kind of put it out into the world for other people going through something similar.
Yeah. So let me ask you, and I don't know if you want to answer for sure, because you don't really say exactly what was the official problem.
Yeah.
Right? So you're very humble in that matter. Was it just you guys grew apart, or was there like something in your relationship that caused a drift?
So I think that when you meet someone that you're in a romantic relationship with, and that it's like a soul level connection, you bring up each other's shit. You bring up all the stuff that you have to work on. So both of our stuff came up, and hers kind of came up even more. And she dealt with it by running away, and I dealt with it by trying to cling to her for a while.
Yeah.
So it was mostly like we both have our individual issues, just like everyone else does, and it got in the way of our relationship.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
I think that's I would prefer those kinds of ways to like interfere a relationship. My last relationship was a lot of like dishonesty that eventually like caught up to being like, okay, well, that's what I thought was going on.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so it kind of kicked me harder, I would say, going through a process of like thinking forever something was happening and being told forever, no, it's not. No, it's not. No, this is not. And then being like, God damn, it really, like, that is not fair. That is not something. And so I've learned, like, I don't ever want to do that to someone. I don't want to be that asshole. I'd rather be like, all right, I mean, you're right, or, and kind of face the consequences then, because it sucks to be in the situation where you're like, well, goddamn, because you start thinking you're like crazy in like a little aspect, because you're like, well, wait, am I overreacting in this situation, or whatever, it may be. How often do you write?
When I was writing the book, I was writing multiple times a day, like throughout the day. Now it's a little bit more sporadic, but I started writing 2 more books that are both a little bit different. But so now I kind of like, as things come up, I just write them down.
Oh, nice. Did you cut a lot of stuff from the book?
I only caught like 2 poems actually.
Oh, that's not bad.
One, and I caught a bunch of haikus because I went on this whole haiku kick, you know, like the 575.
Yeah.
And I wrote a bunch of haikus, and then I was like, "That I don't like those. They're not going in the book." Yeah.
So you're like book minus haiku.
Yes.
What do you do like in Tucson to have fun other than your tapping?
So I have started to go out and like go dancing, and I really enjoyed entering like the queer scene here in Tucson, which I wasn't a part of at all. And so being in like those
Even
spaces
when you guys were in the relationship?
we were just like this little bubble of our relationship, and we kept to ourselves and had no friends.
Oh, wow.
So it's been like really a blossoming time for me to just kind of check out like what's happening in Tucson, and there's so many cool creative people. Mm-hmm. So I've been exploring
crazy because like at first, I mean, initially a lot of people suck. Mm-hmm. I'm like, you kind of have to worm your way through, but once you find those people, there's like such a good tribe of people here, and it's like, damn it, why weren't you my friend sooner? Yeah, like you were the type I needed before. Yeah, so I like that. I blocked all of that though. Like I just was like didn't allow myself kind of to branch. You guys were in a bubble, like you said, and I mean I've been there too because. Even I've been in relationships where like I said, like I will do and do and do. So it even cuts out like me going and hanging out with friends. Like, because if you don't like it, why would I want to? Sure. You know what I mean? Yeah. And then I've learned now that's not a good way to be. But still, it's like a situation you go through and you're like, well, so I'm learning.
Yes, me too.
And tarot, you did my card. That was awesome. Yeah. I was so excited because I won.
Oh, right. Because I did like a drawing.
Yeah. And it was spot on. So that's awesome. Pretty nice. Yeah. I have a deck. I have the Alice in Wonderland deck. Cool. And I only draw for myself, and I've realized how oddly accurate it like always is anytime I pull a card for myself. But like, you were like, you're gonna have finances are gonna cause issues, and I'm like, right, it's like finances and career card, right? I was like, I'm already here because my podcast is like definitely taking a different route than I originally thought it would. I was in a project before that didn't really move forward or really bubble into anything, and I like go to the mailbox every day and I have like a product to try. You know what I mean? Like, and it's very different. So, you know, and I have a full-time job too. So like planning this and making sure I'm able to delegate my time and stuff, and then finances, like, bitch, I've been broke for a long time, and I'm like, that is my only problem. That is one of my number one problems. How did you get into reading? When
I went through my first breakup, like when I was 20, so 9 years ago, I started seeing a therapist that was really spiritual, and she always drew these like angel cards at the end of our session. And ever since then, for the last 9 years, I've just been like reading for myself. And then a few years ago, I started just like reading for other people.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
And I always just trust whatever card you get is what you're supposed to get. So.
And that's so funny because you read for Kia, and Kia said she took your card when her reading, she applied it towards her current relationship. And after a couple of days, we were talking last night, and she goes, you know, I realize it's not even that. She goes, it's actually this situation, and it is 100% on that situation. Other than tarot, do you do any other kind of like spiritual, I don't know, I like crystals. Yeah. I like a lot of different moon stuff. I'm like moon stuff.
Yeah. I do something called family constellation therapy, which is like very spiritual. Kind of the idea behind it is that your family soul kind of like passes down things through different generations, and like whatever you're struggling with, it's not always yours. It's like something that your mom or your great grandma or your grandma.
I've read a lot about that.
So I do sessions. I don't facilitate them, but I go to someone to get them. Facilitated. So
that's pretty awesome. Yeah, I've read a lot about that, and it's funny because I've always like wondered too. People, I want to do. Have you ever done the egg thing where you get an egg and you like rub it all around your body? I think it's supposed to be room. Some people, and it's so weird. Some people say it needs to be cold. Some people say it needs to be room temperature. But basically, there's like something to say while you're doing it. I'll have to look it up to make sure, but I've saved it But you take this egg and you rub it all over your body, and then you crack it into a bowl. And essentially, how many bubbles show up around the yolk show like a number of issues that you may have correlated to. But it's supposed to like remove like curses, like any curses that your spirit has or things like that too. And people I've read, and they're like, this can also help with like previous generation issues that you're bearing.
Definitely.
So it's so interesting because I'm not very religious at all.
Mm-hmm.
But I can totally connect with like the moon and stuff like that, like on a way different level.
Definitely.
So I appreciate that. I like it so much.
Yeah.
But the Wonderland Tarot is the first deck that I got. My boyfriend bought it for me for my birthday. And I went into I can't think of what it's called. There's a little witch store down here on 4th and Tucson. And I went into that, and it was like the first thing I saw, and I touched it and was like, oh man, I need this. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? So I had to wait a little while. But then he got it for me, and I was like, God, I love these.
Yeah.
And so it's so cool. And I love, like, I'm a part of different groups on Facebook and stuff, obviously, for, crystals and tarot readings, like different things like that, just because I really like hearing people's different perspectives on it. Mm-hmm. When I was a kid, for like years, honestly, until I was like 14, I used to have this dream, and this dream was me. Let's say I'm probably like in my 20s, and I wear a black dress, and I'm at this big old school, and this school is U-shaped out in the middle of like a grass field with woods all around it. And I'm clearly at a school with a bunch of girls. We're all dressed the same, whatever. And in my dream, all these guys, at the end of the dream, these guys always come with holding fire sticks. What the hell do you call those?
Torches.
Torches.
Yeah.
And everybody runs out into the woods, and I die. They definitely burn me in the end of my...
Oh my God.
And so I used to have that dream all of the time.
Maybe like
and eventually
past life or something.
Eventually I started paying more attention. It was all witches. Yeah. It was like a school of witches, and all these people, all these guys, basically townsmen, probably. Who knows what happened. But that's the only dream I ever had where, no, it's not. I've had another dream I died in. But where people are like, you shouldn't die in your dreams. And I'm like, well, I have. I used to die in this dream all the time. And when I was a kid, I didn't really know who it was. But as I got older, you could tell it was me. Yeah. And it was me and another girl that, like, I had known most of my life. So it was so weird to have that dream all the time. But I like looking into different things like past lives and stuff to try to answer or see, like, what people say about that stuff. I really like it.
Yeah, me too.
Do you do, like, yoga also, you said?
I do, yeah.
Where's your favorite place in town to go?
I've been kind of trying different places. I do, like, a home practice. But recently I've been going to session yoga. Oh, nice. And they have 2 locations.
I went to a place on 4th a couple of times, and I really like that. I think it might be 4th Avenue Yoga. I should know that name. But yeah, I really like, they have a Monday, like a late night session. It's $5 or something to go. Yeah. And I definitely wanted to fall asleep like mid that whole session. So I was like, man, what do you see yourself doing in the next 5 years?
Good question. So I am in a graduate program right now for counseling and expressive arts therapy. So that's going to be like 2 more years. And then after that, there has to be some like supervision, like counseling hours. But I think the ultimate goal is to like have my own space and kind of create like a home work space that's like really beautiful in nature, where I can lead like writing therapy and like dance therapy and like art therapy and all these different creative ways to express yourself and heal from it. Yeah, that's something I noticed. I think we were talking about it earlier, but I started painting and I am not like artistically inclined. I never felt artistically inclined at all, but I started painting, and it was like the most relaxing thing ever. And I painted up a shitload of paintings and gave them all away at Christmas. That's awesome. And I was like actually happy enough with them to give them away too. So I was like, which I now, though, I look back, and that's the kind of sucky thing about painting, because I'm like, I want to keep them all. Yeah. You know what I mean? Because I'm like, Dad, what was that painting I gave you? Can I see it?
Let me come and hang it back up on my wall. Like, you know what I mean? So I really like, though, I guess that's one of the... I've noticed I have a really hard time with meditating. But when
Everyone does, also.
But when I paint, I can shut everything up.
Yeah.
I literally don't think about anything but what I'm doing when I paint. And that's the only time I've ever been in a situation where I do that.
Yeah.
Because I have ADD, like, I hear all kinds of people all the time, like, my mind is always going. I have, like, gone to therapy. Also, I used to have OCD with stupid shit, like cabinet doors being open and stuff. And after I had my children, it became harder for me to control the stuff that I was having this obsession with. So my problem now is I obsess thoughts, like, yeah, and it's a real problem, and I never realized that, like, that's something you can do. But yeah, my therapist was like, you know, a lot of people do that, and it's like something that constantly just a movie reel going in my head. You know what I mean? That's like, well, what the hell?
Well, if you're able to, like, shut that off while you're painting, like, that's art therapy. Like, that's
that's why I'm like that. I really like that, and it's not the same, like. Because even when I like writing, I enjoy writing, I always have, but even when I write, I'm always thinking about other stuff. Like, I go in with the intent of writing this, and that'll be my main focus, but I'm always like, okay, well, what am I doing after this also? And that's not how I am when I'm painting.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Is there a part of the book that you would like to read to let our listeners hear?
So the book is kind of, like, follows my journey, starting with, like, the different stages of grief. But this is toward the end of the book when I'm feeling a little bit more hopeful, where I'm feeling like I'm not ready yet, but at some point I'll be ready for my future lover. And, you know, I really don't know if that's going to be a new person or if that's going to be the same person that's just done a shit ton of work on themselves and come back, you know, better.
That's fair.
So we'll see.
I think that's cool to have that kind of, you know, view also. Yeah.
So this poem is called A Letter to My Future Lover. Hello there, it's me, and I'm a mess. Unbrushed hair, black beanie, healing. New tattoos, healing. Wounds, deep, unexpected wounds, healing. Betrayal, sabotage, abandonment, healing. I am healing. I am healing for myself because I acknowledge this as a big moment in my life. Not something to glaze over. This, like war, I've unknowingly been preparing for. It's easy to dance in times of peace, but when everything is in despair, buildings crumble that were once majestic and tall, a fog of gray ash, can't breathe, can't sleep. This is when I must take everything inside, all of the tools I have to first just get out of bed. And as the days pass, sure, relapses happen, but get out of bed. Hold myself through the grief until I feel relief. Breathe through the pain, write through the pain, dance through the pain. I am healing for me. I am healing for you too, future lover, because if I manifested epic love and epic loss, it must mean there's something greater in store. Me, fully expressed, on purpose, mindful, brave, amazing, meeting you. Fully expressed on purpose, mindful, brave, amazing. Dear future lover, I am not there yet, but I am closer than 8 weeks ago. I am feeling my pain so I can love again. I am building my career and purpose so I can feel fulfilled on my own, and so I can attract you who is doing the same. I know I will be amazed by you because I will be amazed by me. So for now, dear lover, I will focus on me, what I love, how I'll serve, and spreading joy to the world. I know I will see you at the right time, in the right place. Until then, love, Olivia.
I like that. I think that's cool that you even wrote it, but that you understand that you totally have to go through your shit in order to be a better person than someone else. Yeah. Because it takes a lot. I definitely had a point in, like, my breakup where I just was like, I don't feel any, like, I just need to be alone. I just need to go and be alone because my thoughts are not my own. Anybody you talk to gives you opinions and gives you advice, like, whether it's warranted or not. And, like, I appreciate the advice and stuff, but a lot of time you need to find, like, that own little voice that's like, okay, well, this is what you need.
Yeah. And you're going to be okay. There's, you know, there's going to be someone on the other side of this.
I think in one of those you talked about Breakup Blonde. I did that. That's why I just had to cut all my hair off.
Yeah. I went breakup blonde, and then I went breakup blue, and then I went back to brown, and now I'm back to blonde.
See, mine was blonde, and then pink, and then blue, and then brown, and now I had to cut it off.
Yeah.
Because it was very damaged.
Yes, I understand that.
And it was sad because I went in there and I was like, well, this is what I would like. And they were like, no, we can't do that.
Yeah, your hair will fall off.
They wanted it even shorter than it is. And I was like, man, because it was already falling out.
Yeah.
And until I went there, I didn't realize how much hair had fallen out. And I was like, man, nobody was like, hey, Kendra, half of the hair in the back here is like, just gone.
Yeah.
So, but I'll get used to it. I don't really like short hair, so...
Well, you look fierce.
I appreciate it.
Yeah.
I'm trying to make it work. Well, because you've talked about how you and the person that you wrote the book about still talk. Do you think that you coming out with this book have inspired them to maybe work on themselves the ways that you have?
I think that they're getting that own inspiration from themselves. I think they're proud of me that I did this, but I think that they know the work that they need to do, and they're doing it. So I'm really proud of her too.
Yeah, I think that's good. I just think I know sometimes, especially like myself, when you set out to do stuff and you don't, like how you said, like you kept starting stuff but not finishing it. Yeah. Not saying that you said she was like that, but in the case if maybe she had not been finishing stuff either, seeing you do it would definitely be like a kick. Yeah. Where you're like, okay, it's my turn. Like your brother. You're like, gotta self-publish this book.
I went to a poetry reading a couple weeks ago, and she came with me, and she did a poem. And that was pretty significant, because I'm usually the one that just is in the spotlight, and she shared too, so.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Both of us are shifting. I think it's good.
It's good to evolve.
Yeah.
It's nice. I read something that was like, evolved so much they have to get to know you better or get to know you again. And I was like, that's a real thing. Like, not only do people go through their natural course of changes, like in a relationship, that's why you have to come back and find like common ground again. Yeah. And I think most people don't realize that. Yeah. Because it's like, well, obviously my thoughts from when I was 18 to 25 changed drastically, and fucking after having kids, like even more. Totally. You know what I mean? So it's like, I get scared when, like I was telling you, when schools get threatened with bomb threats, I'm like, God damn, my kids are at school. Like, this is not, I don't need to go through this. Yeah. And back in the day, it would have been like, oh, it's a prank. You know what I mean? And I'm like, I don't give a fuck. I'm not dealing with it. Yeah. But what is I would say, like, other than the book and, where it essentially got you as far as healing. Yeah. What is your number one thing that you always do in order to kind of gather yourself?
I think I am really good at letting myself feel my feelings. It can be pretty debilitating at times. Like, I feel my feelings hard. Like, I cry, I lay in bed, I let myself be depressed. So I think letting myself do that, I'm able to get to the other side. Because if I didn't, then I would just be stuffing, those emotions down, and that's not healthy. Yeah, so,
it's good to feel your feelings, and I try to remember that too. Because sometimes I'm like, oh, I don't want to be angry, or I don't want to be sad about this situation, and you have to come back down to yourself and be like, well, you are. Yeah,
and it's okay,
Right. Have you? So other than going to events and stuff with your ex, have you dated at all since your breakup?
I prematurely got on this dating app like a month after the breakup, and I saw her on it, and I was just like, oh no, I'm not ready for this. And I immediately got off. I wouldn't say, no, I haven't really dated. No. I've seen a couple people and was just like, yep, not ready. Right. And then we kind of just came back together and have been, I don't know if we're dating or just, she's just still in my life. So I just feel like my heart is still a little bit not available.
Right. That makes sense. So you're kind of tied up as it is too. Yeah. I mean, people have to go through bad shit sometimes to come back together, and that is life. Yeah. Too, because you kind of learn what you want. So hopefully whatever you want will happen. Yeah. Well, either way. Yeah. And that it's a positive. Yeah. A positive time. Well, I definitely appreciate you coming. I do really like the Venom Extracts here, Slurrican, that I tried during the show. I feel pretty good. And nothing over the top. I don't feel super heavy eyes or anything like that. But overall, good product. Venom Extracts has always been really good with everything they've given. I got a few grams of shatter also from them, and, you know, we'll be trying those and seeing how everything works. But I would definitely get the vapes again. Like I said, it's something I prefer to have, especially like if I'm going out or going to be somewhere. I can just pull my vape out, take a hit, and be good for like a couple hours. So where can our guests find you? Like Instagram?
Yeah, Instagram. My Instagram is Olivia the Creative, and my website is oliviathecreative.com.
Awesome. And the book is available on Amazon. And if you're in Tucson, what's the name of the...
Antigone is the bookstore that I just sent it into, so hopefully it will be
there. Fingers crossed.
Yeah. And then the Virtues Hair Studio.
Awesome. Is there anything else that you wanted to talk about or let our listeners know about yourself?
Yeah, just, you know, I'm grateful for this. Even though there's so much pain, so much good has come from it. And so just to anyone listening who's going through some tough shit, like, it's like every experience is for you, even if it doesn't feel that way. And, like, use that experience to, like, feel your feelings and grow through it.
Yeah, I agree. I think that's great. I think that's a good way to end the show, too. Again, thank you so much. I was so glad that you responded and were like, yes. Because I was, like, instantly like, yay, I'm so excited. Like, and then we got the book, and
it's awesome.
I love it. It's, like I said, highly relatable. If you've been through a breakup, go and get yourself a copy of the Breakup Diaries. Check out Olivia on Instagram. She has the Amazon link on her bio also. Thank you so much for tuning in to Kendra After Dark. Make sure to subscribe on your favorite platform, www.kendraafterdark, and a new episode every Saturday. So we will see you next week.